Hi, I'm Kurt Bowman and welcome back to Yoga for Old Guys. This session is going to be very gentle. It's going to be a gentle flow, lots of stretching, and it's not exactly a beginner course, but it's not going to dig deeply into a whole variety of yoga poses. So let's start by simply coming into a comfortable seated position, hands or wrists on your ankles or on your knees rather, resting, sitting straight up. Let your head grow tall over your shoulders. Close your eyes. And now, if you can, bring your mind into right now, at the same time as your body. Let's not think about anything in the past or what we think we have to do in the future. Let's just focus on the next few minutes of practicing. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Again. Exhale. One last time, big cleansing breath in. Open your eyes. Bring your legs straight out in front of you. First, start by bringing your right knee up and in, and cross your foot over your left leg. Sitting as straight as you're able, twist to the right. Hooking your left arm on your right knee, and always remember to twist with your shoulders, or your chest, rather. Twisting with your torso, not your eyes. Are you holding yourself up with your right arm? If so, let your shoulder drop. Come back with your right ankle now just over your left knee. Your right leg is out, or your right knee is out, perpendicular. Just fold slightly forward over your left leg, which is straight. Come back up. Switch legs, right leg out. Left knee up with your foot over your leg, right leg, and twist to your left. Hooking your arm, turning with your chest and torso. You can glance back with your eyes, but don't let that be the judge of how far you're twisting. Sits bones are down on the floor. Come back to center. Just allow your left knee to drop and bend forward over your right leg. I'll bring both feet in, but put the soles of your feet together, bottoms of your feet together. Obviously your knees have to fall out. You're sitting up, and with your elbows, for some of us, you just want to push down on your calves. Lean forward. Don't bend forward so much as lean forward, keeping your back straight. Don't bend at the waist. Just lean forward, pushing with your elbows down. Kind of a forced butterfly. Allow the insides of those thighs and groin to stretch a little bit. Come back up, release slightly, and come back into that pose. Elbows down, pushing against your calves, maybe your knees. Leaning forward slightly. And come up to seated. Come on to all fours. Put your toes, big toes together. Knees wide apart. And push back into child's pose. Make this pose intentional by walking your fingers away from your body, obviously stretching your arms out. Let your neck and head drop. Let your shoulder blades, shoulders grow, your back, upper back go wide. And sit back as deeply as you're able. Bring your knees together, still in child's pose, but drop your hands back behind you. Grab your heels, let your head drop, roll into what's called rabbit. You're completely stretching out that back. Let your head hang on the floor, forehead down if you're able. Sits bones back, your glutes are back. And now come into tabletop, all fours. Curl your toes under and stretch back into downward facing dog. For many, this is a resting pose. Are you able to push your heels a little further down? Raise your glutes up to that imaginary line where the ceiling meets the wall. Pushing them up higher and further back. Let your head hang, neck hang. Stretch out the shoulder blades. Walk your fingers backwards to your feet and come into a forward fold. Slight bend in your knees. Grab your elbows. Now gently twist or sway right to left, left to right. Slight bend in your knees yet. Head is hanging. Let your hands drop back down. Touch your toes or as far down as you're able to go. And now just gently bring your knees a little bit straighter. Roll up the spine. Come into mountain, palms out, shoulders intentionally back and down. Roll them back. Now squeeze your shoulder blades together. I hope you can feel a stretch there a little bit. And turning your palms out, you can give your shoulders a break from many of us, and especially me, walk around all day with rolling our shoulders forward for some reason. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, just gently fold forward. Walk your hands out to high plank. Walk your feet up to your fingers, folding forward. Inhale to a halfway lifted. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, Samastiti, or mountain pose. Now, rather than a vinyasa flow, we're going to go inhale, arms overhead. And now, with our right foot, exhale, we're going to just simply step back into warrior one. Left foot is forward, left knee slightly bent. Can you check your hips? Are they pointing forward? Turn your back heel up, and you are now into crescent lunge. A little bit of strength building here. Drop your hands to the mat, drop your back knee down, your right knee is down, bring your back toes and come into almost a warrior one, but your back knee is down. Drop your right hand to the mat, bring your left hand overhead, twisting to the left. Remember, you're opening up your chest. Twisting. Bring both hands down to the mat. Raise your back leg. Heel is up. Come into crescent. And here's the challenge. Step up to the front of your mat. Mountain pose. Take a breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, arms overhead. This time we're stepping back into crescent with the left foot. A little bit of a challenge. Drop your left knee to the floor. Left knee to the floor. Toes pointed back. Drop your left hand to the mat and bring your right hand over, right arm overhead. Bring your back and your head, your neck against that proverbial back wall. Felt my back pop, which is good. Hands to the mat. Back toes up, heel up. Here we go. Oh, come into crescent. Bobble a little bit. Strengthen that front leg. And ready. Step up to the top of your mat. Mountain pose. Take a breath. Shoulders, are they back and down? Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the mat and step back into high plank. Walk your fingers back to your hands and come into a forward fold. You're now at the back of your mat. Walk your hands forward into high plank. And now stretch back into downward facing dog. Right leg, three-legged dog. Bring your right knee forward up by your right wrist. Coming into Pigeon. Now setting up for this one, the perfect expression of Pigeon is for your front leg to your calf to be perpendicular to the knee. Really, really be careful. It's more important that it's just a little bit forward, and we're working on the hips here. Now stretch your back, your left foot, point your toes away from your body. They're flat on the floor. Push them back another inch or two. Get that straight. Using your fingers, push yourself up as straight as you're able. Now just focus on your pelvis falling to the mat. Not to the left, not to the right, straight down. And now, as much as you're able, come forward. Maybe that's just to your hands, maybe it's to your forearms, or maybe you can bring your head to the floor. No matter how low you get, the whole idea is to open up the right hip in this place, in this pose. Fight the temptation of rolling out or rolling in, and you think, oh, if I roll out, I can feel it much more. You're putting too much strain on everything that's holding that hip in place. Just allow it to stretch going straight down. This is my most favorite pose in the world for opening my hips, and which will open up my lower back, which will take the tightness out, which will stop sore backs. Come back up to your fingertips. Hands down to the mat. Bring your left toes back and underneath, and come into right leg three-legged dog, and let's give that right leg a little stretch and wiggle. Downward facing dog. Left leg three-legged dog. Left knee up by the left hand. Same thing. First off, are you putting too much strain on your left knee? If so, bring your shin back a little bit, your foot back. Push up onto your fingertips. Drop your pelvis. Push your right toes further away from your body. The further they go away from the body, the lower the pelvis will get to the floor. Start to feel that opening in your left hip now. Now, come forward. Again, whether it's just on your palms, your forearms, or bringing that forehead to the ground. Check your hip. Are you rolling to the left or right? If you are, come back to neutral and let your pelvis drop straight down. Can you slide your right toes back maybe another 1/4 inch? Stretching it out. Start coming up. Push back with your fingertips, coming up as high as you're able. Palms down to the mat. Right toes rolled back and underneath you, and come into left leg three-legged dog. Go ahead and shake that out.
Come into downward facing dog. Let's bring your fingers back a little bit more, closer to your feet. Heels a little further down if you're able. Do you feel a little bit more flexible right now? Walk your hands out to high plank and walk your feet up to the front of your mat into a forward fold. Rolling up one vertebrae at a time into mountain. Hands down, palms out, shoulders back and down. Bring your hands to your waist and just swing your right leg out to the side. Your feet are now 3 or 4 feet apart. Both sets of toes are pointed forward. Bring your pelvis forward just a little bit. Back is straight. And now with your hands on your waist, just bend forward at the waist and bring your head as low as you're able. Allow your hands to drop to the floor. Turn your fingers back so they're pointed in the opposite direction of your toes, and just walk them back between your legs as much as you're able. Start that way. Let your neck hang. Bring your hands back to center, palms down on the mat, and walk them first, your fingers, to the left, toward your left toes. Walk them now over to the right as far as you're able. Fingers back to center. Bring your feet in just an inch or two on either side and bend your left knee and push straight with your right leg, still bending forward. So you're stretching that right leg, inner thigh or inner leg. Come back to center, bend your right knee, straighten your left leg, pushing to the right. Come back to center, both legs are straight, you're bending forward. Come back up, or come with your feet in another inch or so. Hands on the waist. Come back up to standing. And bring your hands up to cactus and bend both knees now into what sometimes is called the goddess pose. Turn your toes out just a little bit. And you come down a little further. You might have to turn your toes out a little bit more. A little bit of strength building and stretching at the same time. And come back up. Hands on the waist and step both feet to the center. Okay. Now for some, you're able to keep your feet together. But for most of us, I have to bring my feet about shoulder width apart and come down into a yogi squat. Now I have to bring my feet further apart, bring your hands inside or your elbows inside your knees. And again, for many, they can
Everything is touching and they're squatting. Come down as low as you're able, but try and keep your back as straight as you're able. Take your elbows, put inside your knees, come with prayer hands to the center, to your chest. Now use that combination to further stretch out the hips and insides of the legs. Come back up. Bring your feet together. Now a little bit of a balance. Combining the squat with a balance. Come into the tippy toes. Come onto the balls of the feet. Hands are on your waist. Hands now over your head. You're still on your tippy toes. Reach those arms higher. Higher still. Now as much as you're able, while on the balls of your feet, start lowering. Keep your hands up. Can you come down into a squat? Go. You're still on your toes, balls of your feet. And push up, all the way to the top. Oh, we got to struggle a little bit. And feet on the floor. All right, good. One more balance. Go in, let's start with the left foot. Ground into all four corners of the left foot. Kickstand your right toes a little bit. And we're going to come into eagle, which is bring the right knee or right leg over your left knee. Ideally, you're going to be able to lift your right toes off the floor. If you can, bring your right arm underneath your left and twist them. For some of us that hold gold cards in the stiff shoulder, tight shoulder club, you can bring your right arm out underneath, left hand up. That might be the best you go. And this is eagle. Now start in eagle, start to come into chair. Bringing your hips down like you're sitting into a chair, keeping your legs crossed. Whoop. Kurt falls out of it, comes back. And stand up, both feet on the floor. Ground into the right foot, all four corners. Kickstand the left toes. Bring the left leg over the right knee. This is going to be a challenge for Kurt. Left arm under the right arm. For those who can intertwine your arms, please do. And while in eagle, start to sit back into chair. Balance. Build strength and coordination. And come back up. Both feet on the floor, walk it out. Good. Let's come down to the mat. This is where, for some, a strap sometimes comes into play, a belt, a towel, something. Let's start with your left leg. If you're able to grab your toe or your foot with your hand, that's fantastic. Lying back and flat on your back, bring your left leg up straight and bring your left
leg over to the right. Left arm is out. Left leg back up. If you're using a strap or a towel, or you put the video on hold to get one, switch. Right leg is up. Left leg is straight out in front of you. And you're bringing the right leg is up, left leg is out, and bring that right leg over to the left side. Your right arm is out to a T. I need to move a little bit. Right shoulder is on the ground. Come up with the left leg. Flat on your back. Knees up, heels close to your body. Take your right ankle and bring it up on top of your left knee. Reach forward, grab the back of your thigh, the front of your left knee, and pull back into reclined butterfly. Reclined pigeon. This is not butterfly. Reclined pigeon, we did the full pigeon on the floor earlier. And as a modification, always, if you're not able to do forward-facing pigeon, you can do reclined pigeon. Bring both feet down. Switch, left ankle on top of the right knee. Coming up. Pull back on your right thigh, right knee. Idea is now your left hip is opening. Both feet to the floor, knees up. Right leg, right thigh over left thigh. Everything's close. Drop both knees over to the left. Right arm is out to the side. Right shoulder down. Twisting it. You feel that right hip open up? Stretching your right glute. Back up. Switch. Right knee up, left leg over right. Thighs are touching. And drop everything to the right, left knee to the floor, or left shoulder to the floor. The whole idea is a twist. If you allowed everything to or your knees to go to the right, and then you let your left shoulder go with them, I think that's called actually like fetal position. It's not really much of a twist. Come back up. Feet down, knees up. Bring your knees up to your chest. Pull your knees into your chest. Roll up into a ball. Go ahead and bring your neck and head up. Giving your back a little bit of a stretch, lower back. Head down. come into happy baby, which is you can grab your big toes or the bottoms of your feet. Your head is down. Ideally, your hips and glutes are down. You bring your feet up and you make your legs as straight as you're able without pushing out, pushing against your hands. Some of us were born with shorter arms than others. Stretch out those legs, lower back, and let everything come to the mat. Heels, feet wide to the width of your mat. Arms are down along your side. And think about relaxing everything. Start with your feet. Let your calves sink into the mat. Let your hamstrings and thighs just release them. Let your glutes sink into the mat. Now your lower back, shoulders, shoulder blades are sinking. Head is heavy against the mat. Let your face completely relax. You can continue in Savasana for as long as you wish. Otherwise, start to wake up your fingers and toes. Move your hands and your feet. Bring your feet up, your knees up. Rolling over to your right side. And gently bring yourself up to seated. Come into a comfortable seated position. I hope you found this practice to be good for stretch and building a little strength, but mostly stretching. You can repeat this every day if you want. But I hope you have a great day ahead, and I thank you for practicing. To you I say namaste. Thanks again.